Hello and welcome to a new video review, this time about the Leupold Mark 5 HD 3.6-18x44. Leupold is a very known company, especially in United States, because all of their products are completely designed, machined and assembled in USA, exactly in Oregon state and Beaverton. Leupold makes, as I said, all the parts themselves except for the lenses, which they take from other vendors. Now, the Mark 5 series of rifle scopes is their last series, and what is so special about these scopes is that they have a 5x zoom factor, magnification. They are very lightweight compared to rifle scopes from other brands with similar magnifications, are very compact and short, and have a newly designed low profile elevation turret. All scopes from Mark 5 series have also a 35mm main tube, which is quite unusual on the market. Now, this particular scope, the Mark 5, has a magnification from 3.6 to 18, and it has a 44mm objective lens. The outside diameter on the objective is 53.3, which you will need if you want to mount a clip-on night vision or thermal device. The scope is made completely out of metal, and as you would expect from such a premium brand, all these scopes can withstand the strongest calibers like the 50 BMG. The entire housing is argon purged, so you can use the scope also in very cold environment and you will get no fogging of the lenses internally. They are also waterproof, and as I said, they are very compact. As you can see, this scope is very short. It has only 306mm and also very lightweight. It has only 737 grams. Now, the main tube is 35, as I said, which is great because you get more elevation range in the scope, but there are not so many producers of mounts for this diameter of the tube, so you don't have so many options like with a, let's say, 34mm main tube. The scope has a 10 years warranty, and depending on the reticle or if you want a illuminated reticle or not, the price starts at approximately 2,500 euros and goes up to about 3,300 euros. Now, the scope features a reticle in the first focal plane, and in this particular scope it's the Horus H59, which is a Christmas tree style reticle. What I find what is really great from Leupold is that you have many reticles to choose from. You get 4 reticles with illumination and 6 without. The scope is also available in milliradian, like this one is, or in MOA. Illumination in these reticles depends which reticle you choose, which part of the reticle is illuminated. And for the illumination, it's normally on this side, and you have 7 illumination intensity settings. Now this scope, as I said, has no illumination, so I cannot show you this. And also the battery compartment is also on this turret here. The illumination is also, or is only for low light use, so it is not daytime bright. The battery is a standard CR2032. The turret here, which on the illuminated model has an additional small turret here for the intensity setting, is also meant for the parallax adjustment, which goes from 50 yards all the way to infinity. And I have to say, the parallax turret feels very smooth, so you can really precisely adjust for your setting. There is also enough space, I would say, for precise adjustments, and it's not too tight. Especially on some rifle scopes you get 200, and then right maybe a few millimeters further it's already infinity. So on this scope you can really finely adjust all the way to long range targets. The eyepiece is also fast adjustable, so it's a fast focus eyepiece. It also feels very smooth. The same is with the magnification ring. It is really well made, and the magnification ring has a integrated throw lever, which you can take out if you want, and you can put this small screw inside if this throw lever is too big for you. Now for the turrets, I have to say this is my favorite part, because I really like these turrets, and are also some of my favorite currently on the market, because it is so well designed with this push button here, which acts like a zero lock. So you see the turret is locked on 0, and if you want to adjust for the elevation you have to push in, and then you can make the clicks. As you can hear, the clicks are very audible, so you hear every single click, and they feel also really nice. They are not very stiff, so you can pretty easily operate the turret, but they are not too light, so it stops exactly as you want to. It's not that you accidentally go 2-3 clicks more than you like. Now, what I also like is this turn indicator. So this button, which you need for to push when you want to unlock the elevation turret, acts also like a turn indicator. And now you can see it is flush with the turret when you come to the second revolution. When you come to the third revolution, maybe you can see it here, the button goes even further inside the turret, so you have a really nice indicator that you are in the third turn. And also this small pin here pops out, so you have a visual and mechanical turn indicator, which you can also feel with gloves. I find this a perfect solution also for low light use, because you always see and feel in which turn you are. Now the elevation range, as you can see, is 30 mil on the turret. Now these clicks are also in milliradian, so one click is exactly 1 centimeter at 100 meters. And with this turret you get 30 mil of elevation. Now the internal elevation is also from Leupold is also 30 mils, but I think it is even more. Now when you come back to the 0, you can now see this button pops out, so you are automatically locked on the 0 position. What I also find is very interesting is that you get 10.5 mil of elevation in one turn. For what this is good is that the numbers for each rotation are not over the first one, so you can see better in which clicks you are in. In the beginning I was a bit skeptical, but when you are used to this turret, you can see it is very easy to operate, and yeah, I would say it's a really great turret. Now the scope goes also a few clicks below 0. If this is especially useful if you want to mount a clip-on device, because sometimes you have to adjust a few clicks for the point of impact. Or if you want to, if you're, let's say, zero in the scope at a hot weather, but in the cold weather you have to go mostly a few clicks below, so that the 0 is still there where it was when it was warm weather. Now the Windage turret is, as you can see, capped, and under this cap is another tactical turret, which is also fully watertight, so you don't need to use the cap. You can use the scope also without the cap, and it's still watertight and dustproof and everything, so like a open turret, let's say. The Windage turret has also clicks in 0.1 mrad, and in each direction you get 5 mrad of windage adjustment. When you come to the end, to the 5, the turret stops, which I find is perfect because you cannot go further and make an error of the whole revolution of the turret. So each time you come to 5 mil, the turret stops, which is perfect in my opinion. As you can see, the line here is not in the middle, but here more on the upper side of the scope, which is designed so that when you are looking from the shooter's perspective, let's say from here, you can more easily see where your turret is at. I find it also very useful, but what I would somehow improve is that the line is pretty much far away from the turret, and because of that you cannot so easily see for, let's say, one click up or above if you are 100% in the line. But all in all, I would say it is a really nice solution. Also the clicks on the Windage turret are very audible, as you can hear, and they also feel great. So you can make every single click, each click, without that you accidentally make 2 or 3 clicks if you want to make just one. Turret is very easy to zero. You just have to unscrew the 3 screws here and just adjust that the zero is facing the line here. So very easy. And the same is with the elevation turret. You just have to unscrew these 2 screws here, and you're already you can already adjust the turret and zero so that the zero is facing forward. The windage has all in all 23 mil of travel, so more than enough for zeroing and then for the adjustment. And yeah, this is, I think, all about the turrets. The optical performance is, as you would expect from Leupold, it's a premium brand from US, so the optic is really good. You get a decent field of view with this scope, which is on the lowest setting 9.4 meters at 100 meters, and on the biggest magnification 1.93 meters at 100 meters. The scope has no tunneling effect whatsoever, not even on the smallest magnification, and the eye relief is from 89 to 96.5 millimeters. The eye box is very good, especially on the smallest magnification, and also on the biggest magnification the eye box is also great. So you are really, it is not difficult to stay behind the scope and have the perfect image. Okay, so what do you get in the box? First of all, the owner's manual, then the flip-up covers, which are made out of plastic, but they feel very good. A sunshade, then a Leupold sticker, this small screw, which is a replacement if you want to take the throw lever out, and a hex wrench for zeroing of your turrets. Okay, and now for a short summary. First of all, the positives. So what do I like about this scope? It's the weight and the size. I really like that this scope is very small and compact, and that it weighs only 737 grams. So it is a really lightweight scope with a lot of magnification. The build quality is, as you would expect from Leupold, it's on the highest level. Optically, it is great, even though I would prefer 3 times zoom, but then it would be a 6 times zoom factor, because you would gain a lot more of field of view. But even though it is 3.6, you get a lot of field of view still. Then I find perfect that Leupold has so many reticle options, so it is, every user can easily find the perfect reticle for his needs. Then the next thing is that you can choose if you want to have illumination or not. because if you don't need illumination, the scope is much less expensive. So if you don't want the illumination or you don't need the elevation, you can you don't need to spend so much of your money for such a scope. What I forgot to mention before is that all Mark V rifle scopes have motion sense technology, the illuminated ones. So if you forget the illumination on and leave the scope still, then after 5 minutes the illumination goes automatically off. So it doesn't drain the battery if you don't need the scope. Since when you move the scope or your rifle, the illumination turns instantly back on the same level it was before. Okay, the next positive are the turrets. As I said, they are some of my favorite on the market, especially because of the turn indicator and the zero lock function. Then a big elevation range with 30 mils. Yeah, you can shoot extreme long range. And that the turret is low profile, so you don't have a big turret on such a small scope. Okay, now where do I see some room for improvements? First of all, this line here, as I said, it would be great if the line goes somehow more near the turret, so you could more easily see in which position you are with the turret. Then the parallax, it goes from 50 yards. I would like to see if it would go from, let's say, 10 yards or meters all the way to infinity, because then you can zoom on targets which are very near with the biggest magnification, for if you want to see some really small details, let's say. And lastly, I would say this is not room for improvement, but a downside is the 35mm main tube, because there are not so many options to choose from for the mounts, especially here in Europe currently. Okay, I hope I told everything about the scope I like and what I don't like. And if you have any additional questions, please click the link below. And if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.